But now it's 6:30 p.m.
Getting rid of the people was tough, but we had to do it, you know.
I can tell this is tough for you.
Yeah. It's been very tough.
Now at 6:30, permanently parked, why one of the largest and cheapest lots near Orlando International Airport just ended shuttle service after more than 2 decades. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormith. We'll talk about Boomtown. Right now, there are 17 apartment complexes either under construction or under review in Sanford alone.
Is the city keeping up with the infrastructure, do you think? They're doing the best they can. The boom is happening faster than they can move.
They're building them because they can rent them. It's, there are people coming here and they're filling them up.
Now city leaders are weighing a ban on more apartments, but what would that mean for people struggling to find a place they can afford? The debate ahead in my Boomtown report.
Now at 6:30 tonight, the aftermath from a Porsche pursuit. Police were trying to catch the car. They say it rammed a patrol car, plowed into backyards, and took out a shed. The chase ended along Cathy Drive, south of Sand Lake Road, not far from Forest City Elementary School. News 6's Catherine Silver spoke to neighbors who saw it all happen.
It's quite the sight on Cathy Drive. That's a Porsche police say drove through backyards during a pursuit. Officers in Altamont Springs say an anonymous complaint led them to this street on Thursday. They found Ricardo Bell and Holly Kelly inside the Porsche with illegally tinted windows. An arrest affidavit for Bell shows when officers approached the car, he tried to get away, hitting police vehicles both in front and behind him. We can show you the path of where police say the Porsche went next. It hit this tree and then sped down the street right into this front lawn. It also hit one of the cars in the driveway here before taking off down the cul-de-sac, heading straight between these two houses. And here's where the car ended up. Even though the Porsche is gone, there's parts left behind. What a mess this made. The driver took out the fence in the house next door and also took out the fence of the house right behind it.
It was just unbelievable.
We spoke with one of the homeowners who did not want to show her face on camera. You were standing in your driveway watching all of this happen?
Yes, I was in my driveway because I had just got home. I went and got mail out my mailbox, and I'm surprised he didn't run those over.
A close call in so many ways. This shed collapsed, but no one was hurt.
It was traumatic and terrifying, and it just leaves you with a sense of vulnerability.
Police caught the driver quickly after they say he got out of the Porsche and tried to jump this fence. He's now facing multiple charges related to the pursuit and the drugs officers say they found in the vehicle. Records also show that Ricardo Bell had an active warrant out of Orange County at the time of his arrest. He is now in custody along with the woman who was with him. In Altamont Springs, I'm Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
Another top story tonight, sprinkles of rain, showers, maybe even a storm could pop up tonight.
Yeah, that's right. A cold front is moving in. Give you a live look now from the Launch Credit Union Port Cam at a Port Canaveral. Beautiful shot out there. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrell is here now, pinpointing the timeline for this dip in temps. So how chilly are we talking about, Tom?
Oh, like a big drop. The high today was 85, tomorrow like 69. That's a 16-degree differential, all because of this cold front that's moving in right now. You see the lightning strikes happening if you're watching from over in Marion County outside of Dunnell, maybe you're hearing the rumbles of thunder right along 41. Rain is quite heavy all the way up just south of Williston. This is kind of moving into parts of the viewing area. If you're watching from Reddick and maybe even Ocala will get tagged by this in the next hour or so. In the meantime, the rest of us are doing some slim pickets, not a whole lot going on. Front drags through here in the next 5 to 6 hours. Currently in Orlando, the sun is setting low. It's dark now, 80 degrees in Orlando. The on-the-town forecast for tonight, we will drop on down to about 70 degrees by midnight, with the rain chances diminishing into the evening and overnight hours. I'll be back in a few minutes to pinpoint how much cooler things are going to be for the next 7 days, and we'll check out the forecast for the Daytona 500.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Tom. Right now, Orange County firefighters are still working around the clock, trying to put out a fire that's been burning for the past 24 hours, putting nearby business owners on alert. And there is lots to burn. Take a look at this. I mean, after all, the flames broke out at a lumber debris yard right off of Silver Star Road near Orange Blossom Trail. in the Fairview Shores area. Firefighters brought in a drone to get a better vantage point. They're using what they call the surround and drown method. But the biggest challenge is the amount of wood. A nearby business owner says something similar happened at the yard last year.
I guess a couple of months ago. It's probably about 3 or 4 months ago that I've seen it.
And it was burning for how long?
Burned for a week, smoldered for a whole week.
Fortunately, there is no threat to any surrounding buildings, but while contained, it could be days before the fire is fully put out. The state fire marshal is investigating.
Another big story tonight, pushback to growth. Neighbors are banding together to fight a developer wanting to bring more homes and potentially more planes to a private community in Marion County. Jambalaya Aviation and Equestrian Estates is a private fly-in community near Ocala. The gated community has a runway with a road that leads to its most famous residence house. Hollywood superstar John Travolta. The developer wants to add more hangars, hundreds of houses, townhomes, and businesses.
Warcraft, airplanes, and helicopters just flying over our homes, very low, very noisy.
That might be fine if, you move next to a military installation.
I just want my quality of life. I want my peace.
Those neighbors have put out signs and are standing against more development. They plan to voice their concerns at a county commission meeting next Tuesday.
This is the worst possible fit anybody could imagine in a million years.
We can't handle it here. I'm at a time and age in my life, I do not want to uproot my family and move out of here.
So Brenda Oswald has lived not far from this proposed development for more than 50 years. After next week's hearing, the county will send the proposal to the state for review before county leaders hold a final public hearing. We asked the developer to comment. He told us to call his lawyer. We have not heard back.
Tonight, Flyers have lost one of the biggest and most affordable parking lots near Orlando International. With airport parking already in short supply, last week, Park, Bark, and Fly stopped shuttle service from their 4,000 car lot off of Cimarron across from the Fountains Leave Vista apartments. So the owner and founder told News 6 anchor Eric Von Enken what forced his family to make the change.
This place has been a fixture here along South Cimarron. They opened in 2004. And I want to be clear, they're not closed. You can still park here long term, especially if you got a boat or an RV. But you cannot get a ride to the airport. The shuttles down there have stopped running. The owner says it's because that part of the business was costing him so much he couldn't afford it. So this is Pete Madison, the owner of Park, Bark, and Fly. This is Corey, his longtime employee, his daughter Morgan. It's a family business.
Absolutely. These buses, we just bought four or five new ones. 5 new ones were like $100,000. Our first buses were under 50.
So everything's gone up.
Everything's going up.
And liability insurance, Pete, you were saying, is killing you.
Killing us. And so you keep in mind, because we have the amount of buses we have, sometimes they go with 1 or 2 customers, so other ones don't have to wait here. So now you're sending a bus with 2 people on it that are gone for an hour. We're really sad to get rid of 20 years. Getting rid of the people was tough, but we had to do it, so we're regrouping into what works for us now, we hope. So
I can tell this is tough for you.
Yeah, it's been very tough.
Are you going to try to reopen as an airport lot again?
It's impossible now.
You're
The
done.
market's changed. We were the biggest for a long time.
Is this going to make it tougher now for people who are trying to find space at the airport?
The hardest part it's going to be is so many people over 20 years know that we've always had space. They would always come here last. And we had a spot for them.
And you always had a spot.
Yes.
Is this going to be a hit? I mean, if you're trying to find space here at the
Actually,
airport.
it would have been a year or 2 ago, but this year, none of them filled up this Christmas.
You're saying business has changed.
Business, the whole industry has changed a lot.
Fewer people looking for spaces, you
Correct.
think, because of companies like Uber and Lyft?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me
And
why.
It's a cheaper alternative for people that do use ride-share type businesses.
You're saying pay for an Uber instead of paying for a week of parking.
Correct.
The airport, however, is not seeing the slowdown that Pete says he was dealing with here. In fact, in December, they opened 3 new surface lots, and the airport now claims they have an additional 2,000 spaces compared to a year ago. But Pete's place was always far less expensive than the airport. He was only charging 11 bucks a day. The airport starts at 14 a day, and that's for the economy lot. Down the road from MCO, Eric Von Anken getting results. News 6.
Just hear it in his voice. Just so worked
oh my
up about
gosh,
this.
Of course. And what a value to people who come and need it. We've all
Absolutely.
parked there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Pete told Eric that the airport's new Terminal C played a role as well. He says it can take an extra 20 minutes to reach each way with traffic. And again, that is a lot of gas that they have to use.
Just
so
a headache
horrible.
for him. Yeah. Well, they are one of our favorite nonprofits, getting results right here in Central Florida. Today, Light Orlando kicked off their annual Love Week charity push. We were there as community cleanup kicked off on Goldwyn Avenue this afternoon. That's in the Washington Shores area of Orlando. And organizers were excited by all the enthusiasm.
It's amazing to me to see so many young people come out and volunteer their time and want to do this work in the community. When we approached Frontline Outreach and asked what they wanted to do, it was the kids at Frontline that said they wanted to come out and clean up their neighborhood.
The Love in Love Week stands for Light Orlando Volunteer Experience. Look for more of their good deeds all week on News 6 at clickorlando.com. I love that because that's how you get them started young to care about the community, and they pass it on to the next generation.
They do. Light Orlando. Shout out to Light Orlando.
Please, they do so much. You're watching the debut edition of News 6 at 6:30, a newscast you'll only find online.
Yeah, and we'll be streaming live every weeknight on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app, clickorlando.com, and the News 6 YouTube channel. And what we want to know is what is on your mind.
That's very important. And soon we will launch live interactive polls and ways for you to talk back to us. And since we're online, here are some of the top trending stories you're clicking on and sharing on clickorlando.com. By far, the number one is News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld reveals how a retired couple lost $2,000 thinking they were trading gift cards for a big break on their cable bill. How they were fooled, and what you should ask before sending your hard-earned money.
Also, congratulations to West Shore Junior Senior High School in Melbourne. U.S. News just ranked it the best public high school in Central Florida, 4th in the state, 43rd nationwide. Edgewood Junior Senior High in Merritt Island ranks 7th statewide. See how your school stacks up on the homepage of clickorlando.com.
And many of you want to hear from News 6 meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. He breaks down the odds La Nina will be back, meaning more storms by the peak of hurricane season.
This next thing that I'm going to show you is not good at all. These are the anomalies again, and the brighter orange, red, and purple indicates where we have insanely hot ocean temperatures. These temperatures, as of early February, are more indicative of what we would typically see in June or July in the Atlantic's main development region.
Okay, we just got over hurricane season. You can hear Jonathan's full explanation and find all of our top stories on the homepage of clickorlando.com.
And Ginger, you brought News 6 insiders and fans together to hear from a college coaching legend.
Oh, it was such a great interview. What a great time ahead on News 6 at 6:30. A look back at Friday's live edition of Florida's Fourth Estate with legendary coach Lou Holtz. Why the coach is fired up about the transfer portal.
First, though, with 3,800 more apartment units on the way already, leaders in one city are weighing whether to ban more from being built. What that debate could mean for families struggling to find a place they can afford. That's next in Boomtown.
And during the break, we are streaming live on Facebook. You can find me at facebook.com/Ginger Gadsden. News 6.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, getting results in Waterford Lakes, Lake Mary, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, right now at 6:30, what to do when there's too much boom in Boomtown. Well, tonight, leaders in Sanford are debating whether to hit the brakes on building any more new apartments. Today's workshop, just an early conversation, but ahead of the meeting, the mayor tells me the rapid growth is putting a strain on resources, roads, and other infrastructure. People want to live in Sanford. The question is the city growing too fast?
If you just wanted to move to Florida, we stopped over and it just fell in love with it.
Armand Lucas and his wife beat the rush when they moved to Sanford 12 years ago. Today, the city is booming with new people and new development.
Is the city keeping up with the infrastructure, do you think? They're doing the best they can. Right. Surprisingly, a lot of infrastructure has been put together, but the boom is happening faster than they can move.
We're growing at a very quick rate.
Sanford Mayor Art Woodruff says as the city's population has grown, new apartments have followed. One example, the new Kings Crossing development near the airport, where a Publix just opened 10 days ago.
The fact that they put a Publix there tells you the number of the rooftops that are coming in and the number of people coming in.
And more are on the way. Right now, there are 17 apartment complexes either under construction or under review. That's more than 3,800 units that will soon come online. With that kind of volume, the city wants to make sure they have the infrastructure in place and whether they need to put a moratorium on approving any additional apartments.
They're building them because they can rent them. There are people coming here and they're filling them up and they're renting for $1,600 and $1,800. So that's another issue we have to look at is, if we restrict the supply, what does that do to housing prices for the people that are here now?
The city also wants to make sure they have enough firefighters and police officers to meet the growing demand. According to data from Sanford Police, officers responded to nearly 9,500 calls last year to the city's 54 apartment complexes.
My wife works for Sanford PD, and yeah, she could see the strain a lot. Yeah. So yeah, they're getting stretched a little bit.
I'm not sure it's something that we can use to say, well, we're going to stop building apartments, but it's certainly something we would look at in terms of, our staffing for our police department, equipping them, maybe even impact fees.
Another infrastructure concern, water and sewage treatment. A few weeks ago, the city's sewage treatment facility overflowed, spilling millions of gallons of partially treated wastewater into Lake Monroe.
As you know, we've had some issues with our treatment plant lately. Whether those are really exacerbated by the additional growth coming or not is something we'll have to look at.
All right, so again, this will not be up for a vote tonight. The city is essentially just taking a deep breath, assessing the situation, trying to figure out what to do, or if they do need to do anything in the first place. And maybe it includes perhaps putting in new land codes or just putting the brakes for just a breather for the amount of development that's happening in Sanford. If you think about 17 new apartments under construction or under review. They have 54 right now.
Oh my gosh.
That is a lot. That is a lot of incoming demand. They've already experienced some strains and resources, so they're like, what do we need to do? And every single time, they fill up like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure the people who live there already and know how great it is would love for them to pump the brakes because, you know, just it's because you're taxing the infrastructure, and that if that doesn't support anything, you get that sewage spill, and that's not great.
And you heard the mayor say, what we don't want to happen is tighten up the supply and jack prices up even more. So that's something that, you know, it's a delicate balance. And if you tilt one way or the other way too quickly, it can really throw things off. So
at least they're addressing it.
They are. They're being proactive and making sure everything's good to go.
That sounds good.
When you're in coaching, you have a chance to be significant. The significance where you help other people be successful, that lasts many a lifetime. I coached for Woody Hayes. He taught me so much. He's passed away. But Urban Meyer, Barry Alvarez, all these other coaches still have his philosophy because I passed it on to them.
Just some of the wisdom of legendary football coach Lou Holtz. He was out there with Ginger and Matt at Miller's Ale House in Winter Park Friday night. You got to get that wisdom firsthand.
I mean, if we let it go, we'd still be there right now because he had that much wisdom to impart. We're so thankful that Holtz came out, joining a group of News 6 insiders for that very first live edition of our podcast, Florida's Fourth Estate. Holtz was not shy about sharing secrets from a coaching career that has spanned more than 3 decades, most famously at Notre Dame for 11 seasons. My favorite moments were his thoughts, and he did not hold back on the future of college football. And it's pretty clear he is not a fan of the transfer portal.
As far as transfer portal, worst things ever happened, because there's nothing wrong with being patient, improving, waiting your turn, and being ready when you get that opportunity. I very seldom had an athlete transfer, and to me, when you transfer, all you do is change the address of your problems.
That's all.
What a line.
Yeah, I know. He had a lot of them, Justin. And remember, you can take Florida's Fourth Estate with you anywhere you get podcasts, wherever you like to listen, and at clickorlando.com/podcast. And don't forget, you can catch every edition of Florida's Fourth Estate on the new 6 Plus streaming app on your smart TV. Really, just such a delightful person to talk to. And I asked him your question about where he would coach. Right
what
now,
would be his favorite?
You know, he was gracious. He's like, I can't say that. It's like picking your favorite child.
That's true. That's true. I think the transfer portal thing, you like it if you're getting someone good.
Correct,
right?
correct.
But yeah, it throws it off. It doesn't make it feel that college-y, but that's awesome. What a great night. And there's also, that's also the best place to watch this newscast, News 6 at 6:30. But our live streaming shows start every weekday morning. So starting at 7:30. Catch Breakfast with Bridget, followed by Weather Wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. And at 8:30, you can hit the road with Trooper Steve on patrol.
Yeah, and the best part is all of this is free, guys.
It's all free.
Download the new 6 Plus app for your smart TV or on any other device like Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and Chromecast. Once again, it is free. Everybody's charging for their, if there's a plus, that means money.
Generally speaking,
Plus
but
dollars.
not here. Not here, baby. Free, free, free.
All right.
Free weather, too.
Let's go. I've got a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing right now in Marion County. How weird. First night we're doing this online in. We get the first warning I've had in how long? That's crazy. Severe thunderstorm warning just popped up over here, just outside of Reddick. Look, here's 441 all the way down, lightning strikes. All of this is north of you in Ocala. If you're tuned in from Ocala, you are not in the warning box unless you're in extreme northern Ocala. This area around here, from Ocala down to Bellevue, you guys are without the warning, but the polygon goes from west of Reddick all the way out to the east, and you see the big rain along the 301. Eventually, the rest of us will start to get rid of all of that. I don't think the front's going to do a whole lot more. I mean, you look at it, we noticed this piece of energy when it was in the Gulf of Mexico like half of an hour ago that everything was going that way. Here's Daytona Beach at news time right now. I want to start with Daytona Beach, even though there's no rain there for the moment. There will be this weekend. Currently, it's 81 degrees. Relative humidity is 49%. It comes Sunday. It is Daytona 500 Sunday this week. Oh, man. 68 degrees at green flag racing time. Racers, start your engines. Going to need the windshield wipers too, I'm afraid, on Sunday. We'll keep you updated from day to day and model run to model run. But for now, the weekend does look active. Overnight low this morning was 67. 85 was the daytime high currently in Orlando. We have dropped from that high to 80 degrees at the port right now on the Launch Credit Union camera. The temperature is 80. Temperature readings where you are, 74 Ocala, 76 in the Villages. Remember, severe thunderstorm warning ongoing here in Marion County for about, what time is it? For about another 15 or 20 minutes. Wind support right now from the southwest all over central Florida. Wind will die down just a smidge tomorrow, but it's still going to be breezy through Tuesday. Wednesday, we do drop the wind on down. Here's the satellite and radar together here, and you see that one piece of energy just erupt right there in time to produce that severe thunderstorm warning. But in the next few hours, by 11 o'clock, leading edge of the front is done with us. Rain should have stopped. As we go into the overnight hours, I think we're calm. By calm, I mean no storms. I don't mean the wind's going to stop, because it will not. Overnight lows tonight, 50s all over, 51 in Gainesville, 60 in Cocoa Beach, 56 in Daytona Beach, and 58 in Orlando. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Daytime high tomorrow goes to 69 degrees by 4 p.m. Come look at the week ahead. High tomorrow, 69, 71 on Wednesday. By Thursday, 76, Friday, 76, and by Saturday and Sunday, rain chances are back. Please stay with us. We will be right back.
You probably caught it. During last night's Super Bowl, we revealed something we are really excited about. WKMG News 6 is hitting the road.
That's right. We're coming out to your communities, hearing from you and learning what's special about your neck of the woods. Matt Austin and I just got a taste of our first destination.
WKMG is hitting the road.
And our first stop is East Orange County.
We're talking about 32825.
It's home to Valencia College East Campus.
Did you know it serves more than 20,000 students every year? East Orange County is also where innovation happens.
Lockheed Martin in Orlando is working to make the state a major tech hub.
So one of the really cool projects we've been working on for a few years is Prepared. It basically puts users in this immersive environment that enables them to train as if they were in the real world.
And champions are made as they go for the green at Rio Pinar Golf Club.
This place history is based on Arnold Palmer. So an Arnold Palmer, what is the history of Arnold Palmer? It's like Arnie's Army. And Arnie's Army wasn't just a country club person, was like everybody who loves golf.
It's also home to some delicious places to eat.
Yeah, where families sit down for a meal, talk about their day and everything going on in the community.
We are going to highlight what makes East Orange County so special, and we want to hear from you. Tell us about your favorite people, places, and things in 32825.
Join the conversation at clickorlando.com. I cannot wait to go out to some of those neighborhoods because just a taste of what we saw, it's nothing compared to what you guys will lead us to find in your neighborhood.
We do need to hear from you, though. So please reach out. Tell us what's going on in 32825. That's just the first one we're going to go to. We're going to be spanning all across Central Florida.
So many more. This is your opportunity to let us do some good news from your neighborhood.
Absolutely.
All right.
If we were doing a story in Marion County right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, Tom.
It'd be nice and wet in spots. Take a look at radar real quick. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, goes until 7:15. That particular piece of energy there with all the lightning right in the middle, that's racing to the northeast at 55 miles per hour, has a little bit of weak rotation. I'm going to sit here and stay with it and watch it. If something were to come spiraling out of it, I'd be on the air. But give me another 15 minutes. If you don't have anything within 15 minutes, chances are the rest of the night is calm.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our debut edition of News 6 at 6:30 right here on clickorlando.com and the News 6 Plus streaming app. I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Be nice, though.
Only good comments. Good comments only. They'll see you back here at 11. Take care.